Welcome inside the Acres Broadcast Center. I'm Tim Mulhaupt, and this is your Sports Nightly Ticker. Welcome into a very newsworthy Thursday, Huskers fans, and we start with, of course, the whopper of the story that broke this morning, as it was reported by multiple sources today that UCLA and USC are preparing to exit the Pac-12 conference and join the Big Ten as early as 2024. The expansion would, of course, incorporate both coasts, East and West, in Big Ten travel. Make for a lot of interesting road trips and scheduling decisions to come. We'll continue, of course, to monitor any breaks in that story throughout tonight's show. Over to pro sports tonight in the Major League Baseball realm of the world tonight. Not a ton of games on, but one final so far, and that's the Cleveland Guardians beating the Minnesota Twins 5-3. The Yankees and Astros are currently in the third inning. That game is scoreless down in Houston. Then the Phillies are smacking the Braves right now 7-1 midway through the third inning. Just about set to get underway are the Brewers and Pirates. The Rays and Blue Jays will follow at 6:07. The Reds and Cubs meet at 7:05. The A's and Mariners do battle out west at 9:10. And also at 9:10, the Padres meet the Dodgers. Then, of course, the NBA offseason. Never a dull moment as free agency kicked into high gear today. And the main story doesn't involve free agency at the moment, involves potential trades, as Kevin Durant, the superstar forward for the Brooklyn Nets, has demanded a trade out of Brooklyn just days after Kyrie Irving, his close friend, opted back into playing for Brooklyn. So no corresponding trade has been made as of yet, but that could be really just a redefining of the landscape in the NBA. And we'll see if there's any breaking stories tonight, but expect in the next couple days to see maybe a movement there. Preferred destinations, according to sources for Durant, are the Phoenix Suns, Miami Heat, and potentially his hometown Washington Wizards. And on the other NBA moves today, the Knicks did add Mavericks guard Jalen Brunson to a 4-year, $110 million contract. They made a lot of moves to make that happen, including hiring his father to their front office. And the Washington Wizards re-signed Bradley Beal to a 5-year, $251 million max contract. That's the ticker. I'm Tim Mulhaupt, and this is Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
In motion is Brewington. They snap it back, fake the handoff, looking to throw. They flip it out the flat to Brewington, makes a catch. Touchdown, Nebraska. Well, that looked easy that time. Brewington came in motion, and instead of cutting down the block, kept out the flat, flipped it out to him for an easy 6 points. And Treese now sends a man in motion. They turn, they flip it off to McDuffie, trying to race to the edge. Gets around JoJo Doma, but can't get around Nick Henrich. He'll go down. He'll lose 3 yards, back to the 23-yard line. What a play by Nebraska. Caught! Touchdown! Omar Manning! What a grab in the end zone, and the Huskers have 6 more points.
What a throw and catch! Yes!
Nice jitterbug move, and it bouncing the outside 40 to the 50-yard line, to the 40, 30-yard line, 20. That's Grant, 15, 10, 5. He's in there. Touchdown, Anthony Grant, with an electrifying move at the line of scrimmage, scoots to the outside and dashes down the sideline.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. Welcome to a Thursday night Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. Hope you had a good day today. Wow. How about the news of the day? You know, last night when we were breaking down Andrew and Tim's decision between baked beans and corn on the cob, the Big Ten ADs and chancellors and presidents were having a conference call because they had received yesterday a formal application from USC and UCLA to join the league. And right now, those same chancellors and presidents are meeting to vote on this. I think it's a mere formality. This league's going to grow by at least 2, Jessica, in the next 2 years, and I don't think it's over. I think there's going to be more expansion to the Big Ten. I felt this for several months, and I think one of the tipping points was we weren't hearing the final verdict on the rights deal for the television rights.
Yep.
They said that was going to be done by Memorial Day. We're well past that, and so you knew something was up, and here it is. This is a biggie.
That was immediately my thought is, oh, well, that makes sense now why we haven't heard what the final TV deal is and all these talks about all these different networks wanting to get involved. And I guess I was kind of surprised, but not too surprised because we knew something was going to happen. It was just a matter of when are the dominoes going to fall? And here we are. The two dominoes fell today. But I was watching an episode of Grey's Anatomy the other day, and they were talking about the emergency room and don't ever say that it's slow. And yesterday we were talking about, well, it's kind of the slow time of the year, and here we are. It's wild times today. But yeah, this conversation is only just beginning, and it's going to be fascinating to see what teams try to get in where. And, you know, when we first started talking about this realignment and the conferences and super conferences, originally it was going to be 4. But at this point, I don't think there's enough horses left for 4 conferences, 2 additional to the Big Ten and the SEC. They've completely separated themselves by now. Another thing I was thinking about is what is Notre Dame going to do? That will also be interesting. Could that be part of the negotiation that with NBC and the TV deal there? I don't know. It's we're yet to be even close to hearing the end of how this thing's going to go.
Well, this is a reaction to the SEC's edition last year of Texas and Oklahoma. And you wonder why today, why June 30th? This is the end of the fiscal year for all universities and their athletic departments. It's the end of a contract year for members of conferences. And I'm sure there was some kind of out clause for USC and UCLA that if they got it in by today, they can probably minimize their exit fee or whatever it may be. So that's why the day of June 30th is for this thing today. I have felt like we were headed to 20-team super conferences. And right now the Big Ten is going to be at 16. The SEC is at 16. So that adds room for 4 more for each side. And you're exactly right. Notre Dame, the Big Ten, I think, has a chair pushed out to say, all right, Irish, your name's on this. That chair's there for you to come grab and sit there. This thing today has to make the Irish think about, man, does it still pay for us to be an independent? My guess is this might be what pushes Notre Dame into the arms of the Big Ten Conference.
I agree, because you can't be left out. You know, if this thing is going to a certain way, you can't be the team that's left out. And, they're definitely one of those marquee programs that are still left out there that I'm sure both conferences would like to add. It's fascinating, too, and going to be interesting to see what happens with the ACC, being that they have a TV contract in place through 2036. So, what are they going to do? I'm sure the SEC would love to have a couple of those teams to add to their roster as well, Clemson, Florida State. But how do you get out of that? Maybe if it's an ESPN deal, you get out of that a little bit that way. But I thought it was fascinating. I was listening to Heather Dinich, who covers the college football playoffs so well, and she was saying that she's working on this big piece on the Pac-12 commissioner who's coming up on his year-long anniversary, his year anniversary on July 1st. And he was on vacation this week. She's been in constant communication with him, and he's on vacation. He went to Minnesota on vacation and wanted to, unplug and stay off the grid. That plan, I'd say, is derailed, and completely blindsided is the Pac-12. Just almost exactly the same kind of storyline that we were talking about a year ago. The Big 12 and Bob Bowlesby completely blindsided. And she also said that she had a source that said, well, the Pac-12 got Soonered and horned today.
Kevin Warren, the Big Ten's commissioner, is in London. He's been over there doing some business dealings, trying to drum up some business partners for the conference. So he's probably going to take in a match or two at Wimbledon while he's there. So he's out of the country, but he can certainly jump on a Zoom and a conference call with the presidents and chancellors to get this vote through. It happened fast. I mean, this thing broke right after the noon hour here in the central time zones. The presidents and ADs, and again, I mentioned they did meet along with the ADs and chancellors last night with a conference call to be told that the official application had been submitted. Think about it. 24 hours from now, we're going to be voting on this thing. So, Kevin Warren's been involved in all of that as well. You also, Notre Dame obviously looks like a get for the Big Ten, but I also think there's a couple of teams in the Pac-12 that will be in the mix for this thing as well. Oregon, Washington, and a Stanford. The Big Ten loves teams and loves schools with academic prestige, and obviously the Stanford Cardinal would bring that, and they're so good in multiple sports that I think Stanford would be a draw. Plus, it would get you to that San Francisco TV market. But you look at this, Jessica. Yes, the SEC's probably got the power right now in sports, But the Big Ten's going to have the TV markets.
Yep.
New York, Chicago, L.A. If they get a Stanford and get San Francisco, they dominate the TV coverage.
Here's my question, too, because a lot of the talk today is, okay, we're headed towards college football being governed by their own entity, which another thing that we've been talking about for quite some time, too. But when does somebody start taking the initiative to maybe start running it, figuring out, because 2024 is going to be here before we know it, and is there going to be a governing body in place? Who's going to be the person that steps up and says, I'll run it, and what's that going to look like? And, that's another thing that's got to be put together, and are the other sports, are the Olympic sports going to be on their own? Are they still going to be under the NCAA? What does men's basketball do? Women's basketball? So, as we move towards this big super conferences, you can't have all of those sports stay in that conference. You'd have to figure something out what to do with all of the other sports beyond just football.
I agree. I think we're headed to that, and I think the answer to your question is it's whatever the SEC and the Big Ten are going to decide, because they're going to be clearly the power brokers. We've talked for years about the Power Fives. It's kind of down to two now, isn't it? It's those two that wield all the power in college sports. So whatever they decide is probably where this thing's going to go. Crazy stuff. And so if you've got some thoughts, love to hear them. 402-413-2400 to dial us up with a comment or question, or you can fire off a text as well. In fact, Doug on our text line just said, don't you think this could be a TV deal-driven move? The league would cover East to West Coast. Absolutely, Doug. This is all about TV dollars, and that's why, as we said right off the top, there's a reason why the TV deal hasn't been announced by the Big Ten. We thought we would have it by Memorial Day. We're now coming up on the 4th of July holiday. It wasn't set, and I think that's because Kevin Warren knew. Now, there's some debate about whether USC and UCLA were the ones that broached this conversation. There's been talk that they were, but also some reports out of the Pac-12 saying, no, Fox Sports was the one that generated a lot of this. So this is also kind of a TV battle. You got the ESPN in control of the SEC. You got Fox in control right now of the Big Ten. So now you kind of have the two big TV partners dueling each other out. It's a fascinating story that I think we're not done with. It's going to certainly lead to a lot of dominoes falling from here on. All right, buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Need to step aside, take a break. We're going to come back and come hear from Alante Brown, Husker wide receiver, who made some strides last year and had a good spring for Mickey Joseph in that wide receiver room. Hear from him. Coming up in hour number 2, Lane Grindel's going to join us, talk about the first half of the Major League Baseball season. And Dave Manerick from the Nebraska Sports Council will be here to tell you about the upcoming Cornhusker State games, which they're going to use some Husker softball players for the opening night of that whole event here in 2 weeks. All that and more coming up next.
Visit the truck experts at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Blair for all your new Ram truck needs. From the most awarded light-duty truck in America, the 2022 Ram 1500, to the hardworking and capable 2022 Ram 2500, we have the truck to get the job done. Stop out for a test drive in Blair during the Make the Switch event, or shop, finance, and buy online with eShop at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska's new collaborative biosecurity lab is leading research to safeguard America's food supply against growing threats, in partnership with the U.S. Departments of Defense and Homeland Security. The lab brings together world-leading expertise in agriculture and a deep understanding of the complexities of strategic deterrence across the threat spectrum and in multiple domains.
Hey Huskers fans, tomorrow join us for another encore presentation of Sports Nightly. In this episode, we'll hear from Huskers women's basketball head coach Amy Williams. We'll also meet women's hoops new assistant coach Jessica Keller. We'll wrap up hour one with visits from new men's basketball transfer Emmanuel Bandamel and Huskers linebacker Nick Henrich. In hour two, we'll talk with the voice of Huskers volleyball John Baylor, Nebraska QB Chuba Purdy, and wide receiver Trey Palmer will close out our show. Tune in to your local affiliate or at huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. Husker fans, get ready to be part of the excitement of the 2022-23 Nebraska women's basketball season by joining the season ticket waitlist today. The Huskers return all 5 starters from a team that won 24 games and advanced to the 2022 NCAA tournament. Make the first choice on the best seats to watch the Huskers in person at Pinnacle Bank Arena this year. Join the waitlist by July 31st at huskers.com/request list.
Did you ever buy something and get more than you expected? Emeritus offers insurance, employee benefits, and financial services, but we deliver so much more. The comfort of a human voice when you need it, the confidence of flashing a beautiful smile, the relief that your family can keep living the life they love, the serenity of knowing you've planned well and can enjoy life. That's what we really deliver. We call it fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services, and much more.
You always dreamed of owning your own farm. Now you're living your dream, and it's time to pick the tractor that makes it all come together. Massey Ferguson has reinvented what compact and utility tractors can be and redefined what they do, making them easier to operate, more comfortable to drive, more versatile than ever. Massey Ferguson gives Nebraska farmers the power and performance to win in the field. Kearney Equipment, Kearney, Nebraska, your big red Massey Ferguson dealer in central Nebraska.
When you're a sports fan, it's kind of like having a new love interest. You want to know all about them. Only instead of learning about someone's third-grade crush, you want to know the latest scores, stats, and lineups. To get that, you need Cox Internet. Cox gives you that window to look deeply into your beloved team's soul. Not to mention their injury list. Cox, we're sports 24/7. Learn more at cox.com/sports.
From sprains and stitches to sore throats and sinus infections. When it's care that can't wait, count on CHI Health Clinic Priority Care. Simply walk in 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You'll get the quality care you need without an appointment, and you'll never pay more than a regular primary care visit. Get in, get out, and get on with your day. Find a location near you at chihealth.com/priority care.
Everyone knows that Dakota Mac is known for their great rates on long-term fixed ag real estate loans. But just how long-term are they? They're even longer term than the silent treatment your mom gave you after she found out you backed over her peony bushes with the riding lawnmower. Even though it could have happened to anyone. Oof, talk about long-term.
Hi, it's Nick Luxinger from Dakota Mac. Give me a call at 402-740-6445 to learn all about our competitive rates on 30-year fixed-rate loans.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Boy, what a bombshell day. USC, UCLA to the Big Ten. I still can't believe it.
Yeah, just crazy. Here we go. And just I guess if the two big dominoes were Oklahoma and Texas a year ago, here are the next two. Now, which next two are the next ones to fall? But I thought it was fascinating. Stuart Mandel, and sorry, we had a little technical difficulties there in that last segment, so I had to hop off. I probably left you hanging there. But there was a tweet that he was saying about how if the ESPN had their hands all over here it is. I found it. You think ESPN impacted last realignment round? That's nothing on Fox's likely impact here. Already has rights to at least half of next Big Ten deal, owns 61% of BTN, and has been sitting in on meetings with other potential TV partners based in LA, and they love USC. So, it sounds like, and I've seen a couple of people saying, speculating that ESPN might be completely out of the Big Ten deal, Big Ten TV deal.
Yeah. And I'm not going to cry about that. And I don't think you would either.
No, I don't think a lot of people would. And I think this is awesome. Here we are, combating what this big dynasty that ESPN and the SEC think they're building. And the Big Ten's like, oh no, not so fast, my friends. We've got a plan of our own, and it's going to be massive. And now you got all these other teams looking around like, uh-oh. I mean, can you imagine being Clemson and Florida State right now, locked into a deal through 2036, trying to figure out what to do?
When they signed that, they thought they were doing something legendary by getting a TV deal that far out. But in the end, it's probably going to really hurt those teams that are part of the ACC conference. Speaking of ESPN, Adam Rittenberg, who writes for ESPN.com, and we have on the program from time to time, tweeted this about an hour ago. A lot of talk about additional Pac-12 schools possibly being on the Big Ten's radar. I'm not ruling that out, but the one school that they want, the one they've always wanted, is Notre Dame. That's where the energy likely is going to be placed. Adam then went on to say, a source on Notre Dame, it's really unsustainable to be an independent now. So this might be the thing that pushes the Irish into the arms of the Big Ten Conference.
What is Notre Dame's take home every year right now as it stands?
I'd have to go look that up. It's an NBC-only deal. But think about this, Jessica. One of their big annual games that they play every year is USC. Well, now USC is in the conference. And another one that they play every year is Stanford. And if Stanford gets added, then Notre Dame has really no reason not to jump and take that last chair.
Well, and if the Big Ten is moving towards, if they make a move to, hey, we're going to play 10 conference games, USC is not going to want to make one of those non-conference games Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, correct. Exactly.
And Stanford's not going to want to make one of those non-conference games Notre Dame. So, it's going to be, I cannot wait to see what Notre Dame does, because there's no way they're making close to $100 million a year. So that's where you got to, and I saw somewhere too that they could announce that they're leaving the ACC, and football can go anywhere, but it's the other sports that would have to pay legal fees and try to find their way out of it. So I wonder, could Notre Dame play football in the Big Ten and stay in the ACC while they have to? I don't know. I also saw another tweet. This was from Matt Brown that said it is as far, it's almost the same distance from Los Angeles to New Jersey as it is from New Jersey to Iceland.
Right?
So, I mean,
it's crazy.
Yep.
It's crazy. All right, let's talk some Husker football. Alante Brown had some good moments last fall for the Big Red. And I think he's melded pretty well with new wide receivers coach Mickey Joseph. You had a chance to catch up with the young wide receiver here recently.
Yeah, and played quarterback pretty much. So he's just now settling into being a wide receiver. So that was a lot of our conversation. But yeah, I got a chance to chat with him a couple weeks ago and talk about his spring and how his development has gone up until this point. Well, how's it going? How's the summer treating you?
It's going real good, just staying healthy, doing everything to help this team and to be the top-tier team in this league.
I know you switched over to wide receiver in college. Do you feel different now going into this year, now that you've been around and you've done this a few times?
Of course. When I first started, it was a lot of things for me to learn, and the small details and being technical with my routes and just knowing how to read coverages. And now that I got good coaching and more coaching, more reps, I feel way comfortable.
Coach Joseph had said it back in the spring. He thought you made the biggest growth from the start of spring to the end of spring. What did you feel? What was that growth?
Just being locked in and taking every coaching step in. Whatever they gave me or whatever they told me, I just wanted to make sure I did it to full capability, did 100%.
And what was it like getting that instruction from Mickey Joseph? How much did he help you grow?
He helped me a lot. He's a real energetic guy, and his energy feeds off on the whole room. So that's the type of coaching that I'm looking for, and it just made me become a better player.
So you're a quarterback in high school, a good one at that. Walk me through the decision of wanting to switch over to wide receiver.
Just knowing my athleticism and knowing that a lot of people not looking for a shorter QB. So whatever can help me get to the league faster, that's what I was going to do.
So what was the process like of switching the position and to getting to where you are now?
Playing quarterback is kind of the same thing. You know the routes, you know the depth, but just being more technical. So it was just a matter of just running the routes and getting the feel how to run routes.
Yeah, and what goes into that? How do you become an elite route runner?
Working on breaks, working on getting out your cuts, working on how to read defenses, working on how to be stronger, getting off contact. A lot of the things that QBs don't really have to do.
But the knowledge as a quarterback, how much has that played into you being able to read the entire field?
It helps a lot. It helps a lot because being a quarterback, you have to read the field as well. But doing it while you're running towards them is totally different. So it definitely helped me a lot.
I know people love the speed that you bring. You have some electric plays. Have you always been super fast?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
When did you realize that could be a weapon for you?
8th grade when I started running track, and first track meet, I probably ran in gym shoes. Everybody else had spikes on, and I won it, and I was like, okay, cool, and I see how fast I am now.
How much fun is it to utilize that weapon in the return game and when you get the ball in your hands and you can make big plays like that?
It's real fun, especially when you know somebody can't keep up with you. So just using my speed and not having to do all the extra, take contact, it definitely helps a lot.
I know you guys can have some work with some coaches this year as opposed to years past, but what are the things that you're focusing on this summer before you hit the ground running for fall camp?
Like I said, just being keeping it as much detail as I can. The more detailed we are as a team, the better we're going to be. So just making sure I'm doing every little thing that I can do for me.
And the quarterback's going to be a new quarterback this year. What's it been like working with him and getting to know them?
Oh, it's real good. You know, we have a lot of arms, so just learning how to catch from different arms is definitely going to help us as a group because you never know who's going to come out on top. So just be getting more comfortable with everybody, learning how to catch from different balls. He could be a left-hander or he could be right-handed, so definitely helps.
Coming from the quarterback background, I got to imagine you've done a lot of diving into playbooks, and you probably like that part of it. So how much have you liked diving into this playbook with Whipple?
I definitely like it a lot. Whip is a very creative guy. He has not a lot of knowledge in the NFL guy, so it's definitely interesting.
And this wide receiver group got a lot of talent, a lot of competition in there. How good is that to have a lot of different guys that can catch passes and make big plays?
It's real good. It's real good. It's very competitive every day. No matter what we do, it's a competition. So even with brotherhood, so it's like little brother versus big brother. So everything we do is competition.
Appreciate your time.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Greg, of all the positions, that's one that's not lacking in depth is wide receiver, and he's a name we heard a lot of in the spring, even despite having all those other big playmakers. That's it. He's a name that I think this competition in there, people know that they got to come in and take care of business or they might not get the ball thrown their way.
That's exactly right. You know, we did a top 5 transfer portals list the other night. We could have almost done it just with wide receivers, right? I mean, you have Trey Palmer, Marcus Washington, Isaiah Garcia Castaneda. So those 3 guys didn't come here to sit. And then you had Alante, Oliver Martin. Gets pretty tight. It's going to be fun.
Omar Manning.
Yeah, exactly.
Jacoldus Crawford. You know, I mean, there's a lot of talent. And, you know, I mean, I think Coach Whipple and Mickey Joseph will absolutely utilize a lot of those weapons in a lot of different ways. But I think that just, you know, will set the bar pretty high where, hey, if you're not doing everything right, if you're not blocking, if you're not taking care of business on special teams, if you're playing special teams, you might lose your opportunity to get some reps on the offense. And so I think that will only push these guys to bring their A game every single day. And then you talk about maybe less proven on the, even though we brought in a lot of depth and talent on the secondary. That's another group that we have talked a lot about, a little bit of it in the spring, but come fall camp, seeing those 2 groups battle it out in fall camp with all those guys that, you know, are all trying to fight to earn their way onto the field. It's going to be fun to watch that battle take place come July, a month away.
That depth chart might change after every practice.
Yeah.
I mean, Mickey Joseph may go and go, okay, number 1 was 5 today, number 3 was number 2. I mean, it could just zip around because if you have a bad practice, you could fall down the ladder a little bit. And man, coaches love that kind of a situation because you better bring it every day, and not just on game days. You better bring it every day in practice. It's going to be fun to follow that. He's a good young guy. First time I heard Alante speak, Jessica, he was in the BTM studios on signing day, and so he made his announcement of where he was going live on BTN on signing day. And I remember sitting in Husker Vision. They had it up, and there he was, and he's like, he chose Nebraska, so it's pretty cool to see him make his pick on live television. That was kind of fun.
I have him scheduled to be hopefully a guy we talk to for Cornhusker Conversation to go really in depth, because I'm fascinated by his backstory and playing quarterback. And he heard him say it, how much he's grown this spring being under Mickey Joseph, and how that has really helped him, because it's not just because you're a good athlete and you can run fast. It's a transition if you've played quarterback your whole life. And so, the fact that even, Coach Joseph had made a nod to the growth that Alante made in the spring, but Alante felt it. He felt how much he grew just in the spring. So, and I know those guys are putting in the time with the quarterbacks, and Casey coming off the injury, I don't know how much he's throwing right now, but I do know that those other quarterbacks have been down there, and all those wide receivers know that they got to build that chemistry with all the quarterbacks, not just one, not just two. They got to make sure that they are building that trust and relationship with all of it. So they're down there, they're grinding, and they better be ready to bring their A game come July, whatever. Do we have the official date yet on when fall camp is starting?
Camp, they have to report the 26th. I think the 27th will be their first practice.
So there we go.
Less than a month. Less than a month. How about that? Hey, our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance, buy online at woodhouse.com. Phone lines, text lines open. 402-413-2400. More of the show coming up next.
The game isn't just about winning or losing. It's about the snacks they share after they've used up all their energy in the field. It's the early morning practice before school and staying late after to get a couple more kicks in. It's the pride they feel for their team and the determination to always keep improving. Sure, the game isn't always about winning or losing, but when they've won the big game and celebration is in full swing, there's only one thing left for you to do. Get them home safe. Buckle up in back. Paid for by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hey Huskers fans, tomorrow join us for another encore presentation of Sports Nightly. In this episode, we'll hear from Huskers women's basketball head coach Amy Williams. We'll also meet women's hoops new assistant coach Jessica Keller. We'll wrap up hour one with visits from new men's basketball transfer Emmanuel Bandamel and Huskers linebacker Nick Henrich. In hour two, we'll talk with the voice of Huskers volleyball John Baylor, Nebraska QB Chuba Purdy, and wide receiver Trey Palmer will close out our show. Tune in to your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey Huskers fans, tomorrow join us for another encore presentation of Sports Nightly. In this episode, we'll hear from Huskers women's basketball head coach Amy Williams. We'll also meet women's hoops new assistant coach Jessica Keller. We'll wrap up hour one with visits from new men's basketball transfer Emmanuel Bandamel and Huskers linebacker Nick Henrich. In hour two, we'll talk with the voice of Huskers volleyball John Baylor, Nebraska QB Chuba Purdy, and wide receiver Trey Palmer will close out our show. Tune in to your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Visit the truck experts at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Blair for all your new Ram truck needs. From the most awarded light-duty truck in America, the 2022 Ram 1500, to the hardworking and capable 2022 Ram 2500, we have the truck to get the job done. Stop out for a test drive in Blair during the Make the Switch event or shop, finance, and buy online with eShop at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com.
Nothing goes better with Husker sports than Fairbury. Fairbury, premium quality hot dogs deliver the home game experience to your family and friends. The highest quality beef, pork, and natural spices give you the best tasting hot dog and your hometown favorite Big Red hot dog. Look for Fairbury hot dogs all year long at your local grocery store. Fairbury, the official hot dog of the Huskers and Nebraska fans everywhere.
At Great Western Bank, they are committed to your community. With all the local decisions and personal attention of a hometown community bank, they also have the convenience of a bigger bank. It's the best of both, so you can bank with your neighbors and your friends. Great Western Bank wishes all area teams a safe and successful season. Great Western Bank, member FDIC.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska researchers are designing the next generation of roadside steel barriers through an industry partnership with Trafix Devices. This partnership has produced the Delta Crash Cushion, a simplistic, effective way to keep drivers safe on highways. This barrier is vital for roadside safety and significantly improves the chances motorists will be able to walk away from roadside collisions.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Thursday night. This is the last week for you to customize a Husker football 3-game mini plan on sale for $180. You're going to choose a game from each of the months. North Dakota, Georgia Southern in September, Indiana, Illinois in October, Minnesota, Wisconsin in November, seating located in both end zones. Pretty easy to do. Go online, visit huskers.com/tickets and put together your own plan. Multiple media outlets are now reporting that the vote has taken place. It was unanimous to allow USC and UCLA into the league. We're awaiting some kind of an announcement from the Big Ten Conference, either a statement or just a release tonight. We'll see if that happens before we leave the air here. In a little over an hour. Art in Los Angeles on our text line says, great news, Husker games coming to Los Angeles. I dug out my giant Husker flag today to display it in the light of the news. I sure miss the Huskers coming to California. Now they'll be coming every season, I assume. UCLA and USC will be in the West divisions. How are they going to do that, Jessica? Are they going to go to a pod system? I mean, I don't know how you do this now with scheduling.
Well, and I think that's probably also part of the reason why, we had talked about why we hadn't heard about the TV deal. And then here comes some of the other conferences talking about how they're going to schedule teams. And we hadn't heard anything from the Big Ten. Probably that's part of it, too. Didn't really know what this whole conference was going to look like here come 2024. And so I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you do like the divisions and then you play you stay like you've done and play the same teams from your division and meet up for a conference title game. I don't know, but I have seen a lot of people talking about how USC and UCLA probably just fed up with the Pac-12 network not being seen, terrible timing of games, and all of the above, a little bit kind of like probably what Oklahoma felt a year ago, playing all those 11 a.m. games. They didn't want to play all those 11 a.m. games. And so probably that played into it too, is the money, absolutely, but also just the exposure of being a part of a bigger and better conference network and TV footprint.
I did some research while you were talking to Alante Brown. The Notre Dame deal with NBC is not nearly as impressive as you might think. It nets them currently $15 million a year. Well, that's kind of peanuts compared to what like Big Ten schools are making through their television deals. Now, Notre Dame also gets a slice of the ACC pie from basketball, but even that together would not even come close. So I think my gut's telling me this may be the thing that pushes Notre Dame into this deal. And again, I don't think we're done. I don't think it's stopping at 16. I think we're headed to 20. But with Notre Dame only at $15 million, I thought it was more than that. And Jessica, the last time we had Trev in here, he kind of raised the possibility of, could the Big Ten have a TV deal where you have the big noon game on Fox, you take over the 2:30 window from the SEC on CBS.
Yes.
And then you have a nighttime primetime game on NBC.
Yes. Let's do it. And then you still have your slots for Fox Sports 1, Big Ten Network. Could even if you're going to have a massive conference like this, I bet Fox goes back to having a primetime game on Fox. They made that move, and it was a smart move because that 11 a.m. window had some weak games, and they have really gone all in on that, and it has paid off. But if you have all of these teams, and I don't know, maybe you do still I guess you wouldn't want to compete if NBC's involved. You wouldn't want to compete with that. But if you had to figure out, again, more places, you still have Fox could probably put a primetime game on that if you put the right teams on there would compete with the SEC. If you think about what teams you put, you're going to have so many options of matchups that if you put an 11 a.m. game or a noon game, and then you have another primetime game or figure out a way there, you'd think that you could still compete there with numbers.
And because you span the 4 time zones, that big noon game is perfect for Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan. They reside in that time zone. You carve out that 2:30 game for your central time zone teams, your Nebraskas, your Wisconsins, your Iowas. And then you save that primetime matchup maybe for UCLA and USC. I think it's a real possibility, and I'm sure this is really going to add some power behind Kevin Warren, isn't it? I mean, doesn't he have now a really good story to go tell these networks? Boys, yesterday this was worth this much. Today, it's got to be worth a lot more, as I'm just bringing the LA market into this deal.
Absolutely. And then, we've already said in the ratings of the Big Ten teams where they stack up in college football year in and year out. And then, as you mentioned, you had UCLA and USC, and a lot of people are going to pay attention to those teams, and even in college basketball too. I mean, those are 2 teams that have been relevant, and I think it's just so important too when you start thinking about NIL and where we're headed, and if the money is not going to be flowing in as much to universities and making sure that you're setting your schools up. It isn't just about football. I know this is what the big part of it is, but $100 million can go a long way for a lot of different sports that, right now might be on the verge of being cut at some places and can help you continue to grow and add to those facilities. Which, by the way, I think we have a couple of callers on, Greg.
Let's take some.
All right. I hope I know how to do this. Let's see here. Greg in Grand Island. You got me, Greg?
Yeah, I'm here. How are you tonight?
Let's go. I figured out we have a new phone system, so I'm glad I didn't hang up on you. I'm glad we can hear you.
No, it's great. I just wanted to comment that nobody likes 11 a.m. games, especially Husker fans as well. So anything that we can stretch our time slots out from 2 to, I used to like that Fox Sports one that started like at 6 p.m. I thought that was a really nice slot. So you still get out of a home game by 10:30 and can make it home if you want to, but really looking forward to having some games on the West Coast. The other big thing, of course, what's that going to do for recruiting? Should give us a leg back to California, give us a good story for recruiting in California, which we haven't had for a while now. So just another avenue for Huskers to pull guys out of the West Coast.
Absolutely. Great point there. Greg, do you get the sense that I didn't really get the sense that Husker fans hate 11 a.m. games or the big noon games as much as some of the other programs?
I think the folks who live further away from Lincoln, it's harder to get here in time for the 11 a.m. games. But I also hear the folks who live out in the Panhandle don't really like the night games because they can't get home until 4 in the morning or something if they leave here at 10:30 at night. So.
I do agree. 2:30 is the sweet spot. That is my favorite game time because you don't have to get up so early and you're not here so late. 2:30 is a sweet spot. I do know that vast majority of the players prefer playing that early game, and it's hard to sit around and, get amped up. And, I mean, you get amped up, but a lot of nerves. They'd rather just, wake up and go play.
That's it. I mean, you don't want to have to just lay in the hotel bed all day long and get ready, particularly when you're on the road. That seems even worse when you're on the road. We get a caller before we get to the break, or are we good?
Hung up. We had one. We had a couple on there, but he hung up, so maybe he'll call back.
All right, 402-413-2400, the number to dot us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. Time to tell you to buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Back with our final segment of Hour 1 next.
The 2022 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need you in Memorial Stadium this fall. A customizable Husker football 3-game mini plan is on sale now for only $180. To purchase your 2022 Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111. Go Big Red.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like home like Sap Brothers. For 50 years, Sap Brothers has fueled America's heartland and been a reliable partner to local farms and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment and welcoming guests into their travel centers. Visit www.sapbros.net. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Visit the truck experts at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Blair for all your new Ram truck needs. From the most awarded light-duty truck in America, the 2022 Ram 1500, to the hardworking and capable 2022 Ram 2500, we have the truck to get the job done. Stop out for a test drive in Blair during the Make the Switch event or shop, finance, and buy online with eShop at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com.
All Our Huskers Radio Network broadcast center sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you on a wild sports day as it relates to the Big Ten Conference, with the official addition now of USC and UCLA to the Big Ten Conference. Let's head to the phones. Russ in Lincoln, you're up next. Good evening.
Russ, can you hear us?
Hey, I was wondering if I still had the right number because I was dialing it and nobody was answering.
I know. Thanks for calling back. I saw you calling in, but then we got a new system and we're still trying to figure that out. So I'm glad you called back.
I thought, ma'am, you guys were banning me.
No, never.
Guys, I want to talk about 4 different things real quick. I think it's going to be really good for recruiting. Because I know the guy brought it up before, that, expanding to the West Coast and the kids coming here knowing that they're going to get a chance possibly to play in front of their family back home. So I think that really puts a huge emphasis on this year. Scott's got to get the guys going and make some hay and have some wins this year so that we can start building our recruiting thing, because it's only going to get more difficult. And I'm also looking forward to warm weather games in November and December on the coast. So when it's cold here, we can go to Oregon maybe, or California or Arizona and go watch a ball game.
Yes. Love that.
Yeah. And I'm also seeing something else on here where, and I know Twitter, follow this guy, college football fan. He says our Big Ten is willing to go to 24. So they can have Notre Dame, USC, UCLA, Washington, Oregon, Miami, North Carolina, Georgia Tech, possibly Stanford, Cal, Kansas.
Wow.
And he seems to be hitting. I've been following him, and for what it's worth, and he seems to be pretty on top of things. So it's just pretty amazing what's going on. But we're going to have to get better, and we can't stay where we've been, because otherwise we're going to get left behind.
Good points, Russ. Thank you for your persistence too to get in and dial us in. And as Jessica mentioned, we've installed a new phone system.
What are your guys' comments?
Yeah,
and I'll add to the part about recruiting California. But how about going down to Texas? None of those teams play in California or on the West Coast. Hey, we're going to go play in the Rose Bowl. You want to do that every year or every other year or whenever, the opportunity comes, however it's going to set up with the schedule. But, you're talking about, having this pitch to recruits from all over the country that if they're all going to the SEC, they're all going to the East Coast. So you have this pitch where, hey, we're going to go play in California some.
It's interesting because for decades, the Big Ten has treated the Rose Bowl like a sacred cow. That you just don't touch the Rose Bowl. Well, now they've kind of blown that up, right? Because they went and got the 2 big bell cows out of that league and brought them into the Big Ten Conference. So what's the future for the Rose Bowl? May not be looking good. Maybe all about the playoff now moving forward. Russ, thanks for your take. I appreciate all that. Hey, our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance. Buy online at woodhouse.com. Boy, what a day, huh? Crazy stuff. We'll get into more of that. Also talk a little Major League Baseball with Lane Grindle and some other stuff we have planned for you next hour. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Visit the truck experts at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Blair for all your new Ram truck needs. From the most awarded light-duty truck in America, the 2022 Ram 1500, to the hardworking and capable 2022 Ram 2500, we have the truck to get the job done. Stop out for a test drive in Blair during the Make the Switch event, or shop, finance, and buy online with eShop at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row Townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. During the summer of 2021, 3 UNL students helped safeguard cattle across the state. Neely Anderson, Tatiana Jones, and Ashton Commons developed secure beef supply plans that prevent the spread of disease outbreak. The plans protect nearly 850,000 cattle across our state and provide greater economic security for this vital industry.
Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go is mealtime made easy. Just order delicious meals online for convenient curbside pickup or have it delivered. Want breakfast? Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go. Need lunch? Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go. Doing dinner? Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go. Get pancakes, burgers, fried chicken, lasagna, Hai Chai Asian dishes, sushi, pizza, and more. If you're craving it, Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go has it with curbside pickup or delivery. Order today at Hy-Vee.com/mealtime.
Welcome inside the Acres Broadcast Center. I'm Tim Mulhaupt, and this is your Sports Nightly Ticker. And welcome into a very newsworthy Thursday, Huskers fans, as we start with the whopper of the story of the day. And that is, of course, what we talked about in Hour 1. UCLA and USC are both now announcing that they will join the Big Ten in 2024-2025 for that academic year and athletic season. Both universities put out through their athletics accounts that they will be making the switch. In the last hour, they both posted that they would join the Big Ten in 2024 and 2025. That, again, academic year and athletic season. That will be very interesting, as we mentioned in Hour 1, to see how the travel, scheduling, all that works out. But lots more to unpack as that story develops. Over to pro sports this evening. In the major leagues for baseball, it is a quieter night than usual. Thursday starting to be the easy day as a lot of the other sports wind down. A lot of teams off today, but the games in action currently. The Astros lead the Yankees 2-1 in the top of the 6th. The Phillies are still smacking the Braves 12-3. That one is in the top of the 6th. At the end of 3, it's the Pirates leading the Brewers 3-2. The Blue Jays currently have a 2-0 lead over the Rays. That one's in the top of the 4th. In just a couple moments, we'll see the Reds and Cubs get underway, and then 2 West Coast games later tonight, both at 9:10. First, the A's taking on the Mariners. Then the Padres will battle the Dodgers. The only final from earlier today was the Guardians beating the Twins 5-3. The NBA offseason kicked into high gear today as NBA free agency is underway. The main story is not yet a free agent signing. However, it is the fact that superstar forward for the Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Durant, requested a trade out of Brooklyn just days after his close friend Kyrie Irving opted back into playing for the Nets for the upcoming season. No corresponding trades have yet been made, but lots of sources now reporting lots of different teams that would be at the top of Durant's list, one of the best players in the NBA, as to where he would hope to get traded, and those include the Phoenix Suns, as well as the Miami Heat, the Washington Wizards. That's his hometown team, all reported to be among Durant's potential favorite landing places. Other NBA news of note, the Knicks added former Mavericks guard Jalen Brunson to a 4-year, $110 million contract, and the Washington Wizards re-signed Bradley Beal to a 5-year, $251 million max contract. That's the ticker. I'm Tim Mulhaupt, and this is Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
In motion is Brewington. They snap it back, fake the handoff, looking to throw. They flip it out the flat to Brewington, makes a catch. Touchdown, Nebraska. Well, that looked easy that time. Brewington came in motion, and instead of cutting down the block, kept out in the flat, flipped it out to him for an easy 6 points. And Treese now sends a man in motion. They turn, they flip it off to McDuffie, trying to race to the edge. Gets around JoJo Doma, but can't get around Nick Henrich. He'll go down. He'll lose 3 yards, back to the 23-yard line. What a play by Nebraska. It's caught. Touchdown. Omar Manning. What a grab in the end zone, and the Huskers have 6 more points.
What a throw and catch. Yes.
Nice jitter block move, and it bounced into the outside 40 to the 50-yard line, to the 40, 30-yard line, 20. That's Grant, 15, 10, 5. He's in there. Touchdown, Anthony Grant, with an electrifying move to the line of scrimmage, scoots to the outside and dashes down the sideline.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are back for Hour 2, our final live hour of the week. We'll have an encore show for you tomorrow night, and then another one on Monday for the 4th of July. So this is our last chance to chat until next week. And again, everybody, be safe out there the next couple of days. Have fun. Eat some food. Get you some baked beans and have a good time. So have fun out there. We've been following this big story, and we talked about, Jessica, the TV deal being held up, and it may be one of those things where Kevin Warren needs to start over, right? Because I think this probably changes the whole dynamics.
Yeah, just saw from John Owren, however you say his last name, who reports for the Sports Business Journal, that Apple now wants back in the negotiations after USC and UCLA are headed to the Big Ten. So, Apple has started streaming live sports. I know they have a big deal with a baseball game night of the week, or baseball game of the week. I don't know is it a certain night of the week every night? every week. Do you know much about their baseball deal?
I think it's like maybe Thursday nights. It might be like tonight.
So they want back in. You got to imagine probably YouTube, maybe, some of these other streaming services want to try their hand at it too. Yeah, it's going to be. And then again, you throw in the basketball element to it. Like CBS has been a big channel and avenue for Big Ten basketball. They're going to be ecstatic about this too. Greg, another point I was thinking about too is just how it used to be nothing could be kept secret. And how did they keep this thing under wraps until the news broke and it was basically official?
Crazy, isn't it? Same thing really last year with the OU Texas thing. They kept that thing under wraps pretty well. Both ADs, Jessica, have now commented, Mike Bone at USC, quote, ultimately the Big Ten is the best home for USC and Trojan athletics as we move into this new world of college athletics. UCLA AD Martin Jamrod says, for us, this move offers greater certainty in a rapidly changing time and ensures that we remain a leader in college athletics for generations to come. He also said, although this move increases travel distances for teams, the resources offered by Big Ten membership may allow for more efficient transportation options. I gather that as maybe more charter flights for a lot of the Olympic sports to get to and from places. So all that still has to be worked out. And how about this? They will become official members August 2nd of 2024. Those two schools, Jessica, will join the Big Ten as it sits right now before OU and Texas join the SEC, even though we've known about that for 12 months. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and you have said all along that you think it will be OU and Texas will get there before they actually can. They'll find a way to work it out, and especially if ESPN gets involved and wants to find a way to start bringing that money into the ESPN, to the SEC network and all of that. But yeah, that's good timing by USC and UCLA. You think about, I was thinking too, UCLA softball, baseball, and bringing that to the Big Ten, and some of those other sports. Gymnastics is really good at UCLA, and it's going to be fun too to see some of the other matchups that are being brought in some of the other sports. I mean, I know we talk about football a lot, but there's going to be some fun matchups that are in some of the other sports that are going to be absolutely exciting to get to watch unfold.
No question. I was going there next. Let's just kind of go through the year. Volleyball, UCLA has won 4 national titles. USC has won 3. So you add them into the powers of Nebraska, Wisconsin, Penn State of the Big Ten. I mean, goodness gracious, that league just got better at volleyball with the addition of those two. Women's basketball, you got to say that those are 2 good programs. I'm not sure they've been totally on the national scene, Final Four-like teams, but they've been quality teams, right, for the last 10, 15 years, both UCLA and USC.
Yes, I was trying to think. I mean, UCLA was dominant back, early 90s and early 2000s, but I don't know when the last time. I need to look up when they were relevant, but they probably think this is a good move for them. The Pac-12 women's basketball is pretty solid. So, I think that they probably think too. You think about the perspective too of those teams that are there. And while football, USC, UCLA, I think they both probably recruit nationwide, but now a lot of those schools might also have some selling points to get kids from the Midwest or from the Big Ten areas to go to California because, hey, we're going to come back to your family's area. You're going to get to play in front of your family now. It's got to be a good recruiting pitch for them as well.
Absolutely. Men's basketball, obviously UCLA has won the most NCAA titles of any program. USC's been pretty solid as well, so it's going to make a really good league even better with those two in men's basketball. Baseball, UCLA has won a title in the last 10 years. USC has struggled, but has traditionally goes back to the 1970s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. USC was almost yearly rivals in Omaha for the College World Series. Softball, you mentioned UCLA. They've been really, really good. USC does not field a softball team. Isn't that remarkable that they don't have a softball program?
It really is, especially in California, and that's where softball was born. I mean, we had Coach Ravella in here talking about that West Coast, man, softball was where it took off, and then it's traveled across the country. So yeah, it is definitely surprising that USC, because they have a lot of good talent. I would argue to say that probably California has the most softball players, the most best softball talent, if that makes sense.
Probably. No, yeah, probably right. And Coach Ravel has certainly tapped into that California pipeline down through the years to stockpile talent here coming to Lincoln. But SC does not have softball. Neither UCLA or USC have wrestling. So that's kind of been one of those sports that you've kind of had to have in the Big Ten, but they don't field a wrestling program at all. So,
how about when you go to usctrojans.com, right there on the front page, it is SC with a Big Ten logo on it, nice and big. Immediately you put usctrojans.com, and it is a big old logo with the USC logo and the Big Ten logo.
It's going to take a while to get used to that, isn't it? To see that. So yeah, I mean, those two programs, they bring a lot to the table, and academically they're very, very good academic schools. And again, that means a lot to the Big Ten. So any further additions, and I think there are more coming, you have to kind of factor in that element of the academic side of it, because to the presidents and chancellors in this league, that is very, very important. And so that'll be kept an eye on as well. But crazy stuff. 24 hours ago, we didn't even know this was happening.
Right.
And here it is now. It's official. Crazy.
And I also was thinking, too, about UCLA football. And when I was with Oklahoma played out at UCLA at the Rose Bowl, and it was really sad. It was empty. I mean, there was not a lot of – there were more Oklahoma fans there than UCLA fans. There's been a lot made of USC's attendance has been very down. That might be a thought, too, for these programs, too, is, hey, these Big Ten programs, they travel, and they will fill this stadium up, and they will make for better atmospheres, and, maybe more people that are fans of those programs will be more likely to come watch some of these Big Ten programs as opposed to some of the Pac-12 teams that, there's been some bad football teams in the Pac-12 in recent years.
Sure have. John in Omaha says, I know the Big Ten has a big brand name, but at what point do you grow too large and damage the brand of the league? That's a fair point, and I think that's, I'm not sure I love all of this conference realignment, this expansion, but it's where we are. I don't think nobody can stop it. It's just like it's kind of a runaway train, so I applaud the Big Ten for not just standing on the sideline and letting other leagues leap over them. They've been able to just do that. So, John, I hear you. And you're right. He says it kind of borders on ridiculous a little bit. So
the Big 20, the Big 24.
Right. Have to change the whole name of your league, right?
I don't think that. I think they'll keep that brand because it's the Big Ten, and the Big Ten's been a significant brand for a long time, even if it is ridiculous that it's 20, I think they'll stick with the Big Ten.
And also on our text line, we've got somebody wants Colorado to be added. If the Big Ten does expand, I'd love to see Colorado join the Big Ten. Maybe. I mean, they certainly fit the academic part of it. They would bring you another big television market in Denver. It would be another natural rival for Nebraska to be added to the league. I think that would be kind of cool. So, yeah, I mean, Colorado's probably on the list of possible teams for the league to be following. So we'll keep following it. But, man, we did not anticipate this happening here today.
Let me ask you this, Greg. Are there teams in the Big 12 you would like to see added to the Big 10?
Well, I think the only one that might have a shot would be Kansas.
Because of their basketball team?
Well, and they fit academically.
Right,
and they're an AAU school and all that, so I think Kansas would, and they have a national basketball program, so I think it'd be interesting to see what the Big 12 does. My guess is there's going to be some kind of merger with the Big 12 and what's left over of the Pac-12. I think that could happen in the coming months as well. As you mentioned earlier, the dominoes are going to be following.
Yeah, and if they're, I don't know, I mean, if there's going to be where this stops and what is going to be the end goal, but at this point, there's going to be some Power 5 programs that have maybe been a little bit relevant at one point or another that are going to be left out.
They are, and that's kind of sad, but that's just the reality of where we are. Nebraska 811 says, go dig red before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. We will talk next to the former host of this show, now Milwaukee Brewers broadcaster Lane Grindle. That's coming up next.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today's topic, animal agriculture. There's been a lot of talk suggesting that giving up meat is good for the environment. However, livestock emissions only account for less than 4% of greenhouse gas emissions, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. Also, by reducing meat in your diet, you're missing out on all sorts of beneficial nutrients like protein, iron, and zinc. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. The university has a new undergraduate business and law major. Students majoring in business and law are learning to use legal knowledge to better solve business challenges. They are also gaining skills in regulatory compliance, financial services, securities regulation, and corporate social responsibility. Upon graduation, they will boost the state's talent pool in these critical areas of expertise.
Hey Huskers fans, tomorrow join us for another encore presentation of Sports Nightly. In this episode, we'll hear from Huskers women's basketball head coach Amy Williams. We'll also meet women's hoops new assistant coach Jessica Keller. We'll wrap up hour one with visits from new men's basketball transfer Emmanuel Bandamel and Huskers linebacker Nick Henrich. In hour two, we'll talk with the voice of Huskers volleyball John Baylor, Nebraska QB Chuba Purdy, and wide receiver Trey Palmer will close out our show. Tune in to your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Visit the truck experts at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Blair for all your new Ram truck needs. From the most awarded light-duty truck in America, the 2022 Ram 1500, to the hardworking and capable 2022 Ram 2500, we have the truck to get the job done. Stop out for a test drive in Blair during the Make the Switch event or shop, finance, and buy online with eShop at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
Hey Huskers fans, tomorrow join us for another encore presentation of Sports Nightly. In this episode, we'll hear from Huskers women's basketball head coach Amy Williams. We'll also meet women's hoops new assistant coach Jessica Keller. We'll wrap up hour one with visits from new men's basketball transfer Emmanuel Bandamel and Huskers linebacker Nick Henrich. In hour two, we'll talk with the voice of Huskers volleyball John Baylor, Nebraska QB Chuba Purdy, and wide receiver Trey Palmer will close out our show. Tune in to your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. J-Tech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. J-Tech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find J-Tech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
There's nothing better than the smoky aroma of grilled beef at the ballpark. This
This is Anne Marie with the Nebraska Beef Council reminding you to pick up a package of steaks or burgers for your next tailgate party. Whether you're setting up in the parking lot or cheering from home, nutritious beef is a home run choice when cheering on the Huskers. Visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com for delicious beef recipes, grilling tips, and tailgate inspirations. Beef, it's what's for dinner in Nebraska.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Well, we were hoping to get Lane Grindle on last night. We're fast approaching the middle point of the MLB season, but he had a long game in Tampa, got a 4-hour game, and since you have not solved warping, which I know is a big thing of yours when you were in Lincoln, you were going to solve warping. You didn't get there in time.
Yeah, nobody's come up with this yet. I've been challenging. I'm not the guy to come up with it because I'm not smart enough. I'm just a broadcaster that describes games. But somebody out there is smart enough to come up with warping, and it's time we get this done. It would solve a lot of issues. I could have been on the show last night if we would have had warping. Long game yesterday at Tropicana Field, but the Brewers taking both games of that brief 2-game series against a pretty banged up Rays team, but always good to get a couple wins to start up your road trip.
The Brewers are playing really well. You and the Cardinals have kind of separated in that NL Central. Is that the way you kind of imagined that division race would go?
Yeah, this division's pretty much played out through the first half of the season precisely as I thought it would. I thought these would be the two teams. I didn't really anticipate that either team would run away and hide from the other one. I thought that they'd have exchanged blows. They've played 3 series this year, and they've split the games, all of them so far. So that's pretty much what I thought. I thought the Brewers and Cardinals were pretty even matched, and I thought the other 3 teams were going to struggle to compete this year. And that's been what's happened. The Reds had that historically bad start, but they're a team that can beat you. They have some parts that when they are healthy, and if they can get a decent start on the mound, they can score some runs, especially in their own ballpark. The Pirates, I about called them the Steelers. The Pirates are playing pretty good baseball in terms of how competitive they are. They really play hard for their manager. They've got some good young players that are starting to make their way up to the big leagues. Guys like Diego Castillo, Jack Sawinski, Brian Reynolds has been up for a few years, and he's been a good player. So there's the makings of some competitive teams with those 3 teams. The Cubs are, of course, in rebuild mode too, but they're not ready to be 500 or even more so to compete to get into the postseason. And I think we all saw that on paper coming into the year. So Brewers and Cardinals, I think it's going to be that way for the whole second half of the season too. I just don't anticipate either one of these 2 teams pulling away from the other one.
Lane, the lockout seems so far removed. Has the sport overcome that in your eyes? Are you seeing any kickback on attendance? How is the league done coming out of that?
I think as well as you could have expected. Nobody liked what happened in the offseason, including the people that were involved in the conversations. Nobody wanted to be in that situation, but you needed to get it right so you could not just get back to playing this year, but have years of labor peace moving forward. That's the goal, is to get a fair deal that both sides can feel good about, so you don't have, a blockade down the road where you're saying, oh man, how are we going to get through that negotiation? So I think they did a good job in resolving a lot of those issues. That's the most important thing. And I always felt like once we said play ball, that for the most part, the fans would come back. There were probably fans that were upset about it. I think that's going to be the case in any professional sport that has labor negotiations that result in a lockout or a strike. But I don't see a huge difference, to be honest with you, Greg. I think fans are excited to have the game they love back, and I haven't seen any major residual effects or anything that would concern me long term.
The 2 New York teams have certainly had great first halves of the season. Surprised at all by the Mets? Maybe more. The Yankees, I think we probably assumed to be good, but how about the Mets?
I'm probably more surprised by the Yankees, to be honest with you, Greg. I thought the Yankees would be good. They've been good for a long time. They've got a talented roster. It's not that I didn't think they would compete, but in that division, with the Blue Jays, with the Rays, who had won back-to-back division titles, with an improving Baltimore Orioles team, the Red Sox, you figure, are going to be competitive. I'm surprised the Yankees have done what they've done. This is historic, what they're doing. We just got done playing the Rays, and here's a team that was, I think, 40-32 at the beginning of that series. They're 40-34 now after the Brewers took 2 games from them, but they were 40-32, Greg, and they were 14 games back of the Yankees. That's incredible halfway through the season for something like that to be the case. So I'm more surprised at just how dominant and historically good the Yankees have been. The Mets are really good. I liked their roster coming in. The only thing about the Mets that has surprised me is they've really done it without Scherzer or DeGrom. And that's pretty surprising that they've been as good as they've been without those guys. And they've had some other injuries too. Tyler McGill has been banged up at times over the course of this season. And that's a good arm for them when healthy. So I'm a little surprised by both. I'm just more surprised at the Yankees. I don't know how you can't be, because what they're doing, very few organizations have ever done before.
The Mets obviously occupied the same division as the Braves. It looks like the Braves have kind of figured something out, haven't they?
Yeah, and I thought that would happen eventually. Just like last year. The Braves last year had a weird season because they hovered around 500, below 500. They rarely ever got on a long winning streak. And then instead of saying, you know what, we've got a nice window here with some young players like Acuna, who's going to come back from injury, Ozzie Albies, let's just hit a reset and try to go for it again next year, which is what I anticipated that they would do. And this shows you how much I know about it. Alex Anthopoulos said, no, we're going to go out and we're going to shore up the issues we have because of these injuries and try to get this offense going and see if we can get on a run. And that's precisely what they did. They became the hottest team in baseball coming into the postseason, and they rode that all the way to a World Series title, doing it without Ronald Acuna Jr. That was a really impressive thing that they did. This year they got off to a slower start. No Freddie Freeman. Matt Olson's there. Acuna, of course, wasn't back at the beginning of the year. He's back now. And they took a little bit to get themselves going, but here they go. And I think they will really factor in the East before it's over. The Mets have been the best team in that division so far, but I think slowly and surely the Braves will work themselves into that race, and that's going to be a good battle between those two teams in the NL East before it's all said and done.
You mentioned Freddie Freeman. He's now a Dodger. Came back, got his World Series ring a couple weeks ago when the Dodgers were in Atlanta. He's fired his agent. What's going on with Freddie Freeman?
Well, that's a kind of a complicated story. There's a lot of things out there, what is true and what's not. It's hard to know what you're supposed to believe. I think the one thing we can safely assume, just by seeing what's happened on the surface, is that Freddie Freeman's not pleased with how things went down this offseason. And I think if you watch him when the Braves came to LA and then over the weekend when the Dodgers were in Atlanta, and you see how much that organization in the Atlanta Braves means to him and the city of Atlanta means to him, even though he's originally an Orange County guy, growing up not far from the Dodgers. I think it's very clear that in his heart, he didn't want to leave the Braves. So what exactly transpired, we're going to need the people involved in that to tell us that if we're ever going to really know. But I think it's very clear that if he would have had his way, he would have been an Atlanta Brave. But between his agents and the front office of Atlanta, they couldn't get everybody on the same page and get a deal done. And so now he's a Dodger, which is not a bad thing for Freddie Freeman. He's going to be okay. But it's an interesting deal. I think probably, and this is no disrespect to Freddie Freeman, because he is Mr. Atlanta Brave, face of that franchise, basically took the baton from Chipper Jones and became the first base version of Chipper Jones for the Atlanta Braves. But the Braves got a little younger with a contract that was probably works a little better for them long term by going and getting Matt Olson. I don't think Matt Olson's quite Freddie Freeman, but he's a really good first baseman. So the Braves came out of it okay. Freddie Freeman came out of it okay. I think everybody's going to be all right when this thing's all said and done, but there's been a little drama around it in the lead up to this.
Lane Grindle, the former host of this little show, and now a member of the Milwaukee Brewers broadcast team with us here on Sports Nightly. I want to ask you about a former Husker, Jake Myers. Got pulled up in the Astros organization midseason last year, had a tremendous finish to the year, got hurt in the playoffs, needed rehab that made him miss the first 3 months of the season, got called up again last week and is off to a good start with Houston. How odd is that, Lane, that a guy that was not a high draft pick was able to come back and once his rehab was over, kind of get put back in the lineup for Houston? And what does that say about Jake?
I think that's what it says about Jake more than anything else, is that from the first time I ever saw Jake Myers play the game of baseball, and I think you and I looked at each other immediately and we said, man, this kid plays the game in a way that we could get behind. I mean, he is Mr. Hustle. He's running through every ground ball. I mean, he just does all the little things well. He is, we have a guy in the Brewers organization and on our 26-man roster that has a pretty big role on our team. His name's Jace Peterson. And we always say about Jace Peterson, he's a quote-unquote baseball player. He's a baseball player because he can play about any position. He can do anything you ask him to do. And it feels like in big moments he comes through. Even though he's not a superstar, even though he's not going to be on the all-star team, he is a guy you want on your roster. And I think Jake is a little bit that way with the Houston Astros. He is certainly a guy that has a little versatility in that outfield. He's going to put the ball in play a lot. He's just going to do a lot of things well. And he's going to be a good clubhouse guy too. And that stuff matters. It's not the number one thing. You have to have the talent and the work ethic to get you to that point. And Jake had both of those things too. But all the intangibles matter too. And Jake is just a baseball player. And I've thought that about him from the first time I saw him play in a Nebraska uniform. A little bit of a throwback. And I'm happy for him. I am so thrilled for the success that he's found at the major league level. A lot of people probably didn't think that was going to happen for him. But he wasn't going to listen to anybody else except for himself. And I think that's a great lesson for all those young athletes out there that have a dream. Go chase it like Jake Myers did and put the work in to get there. And I'm glad he's back in the big leagues again. I watched as he had that injury last year. I was sick for him when it happened in the ALDS, and I'm glad he's back.
Yeah. Speaking of chasing a dream, I was on a talk show in Fargo earlier today. The last show hosted by our pal Jeff Culhane, who's headed to Tallahassee to be the new voice of the Florida State Seminoles. How about that? Isn't that cool?
That's really, really, really cool. I'm so happy for Jeff. I think that's going to be a great, great fit for him. He's ready for this. He's put in, just talking about Jake chasing the dream, as you said, that's another guy that's put in the work. Jeff Culhane has worked really hard at the craft to get himself to this place to where he's ready to be the voice of a Power 5 school in Florida State. So I'm really happy for him. I only can hope that you topped what I did in my final appearance on his show. I was on with him Monday, and I ordered drive-through while I was on the air with him. So
I came on right when this UCLA USC thing popped, so we got kind of diverted off to that.
Yeah. And we have a whole nother show we can do on that if you want, Greg.
Oh, how crazy is that? Hey, we appreciate the time. I guess you're in Pittsburgh for the weekend, right?
In Pittsburgh for the weekend. Game 81, the halfway point, will come Sunday, and then we go home for 4th of July against the Chicago Cubs.
Very good. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend.
You bet. Thanks, Greg.
Lane joined us on our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance. Buy online at woodhouse.com. All right, when we come back, we'll talk about the Cornhusker State games. They're coming up in 2 weeks. Some Husker softball players are going to be part of the opening ceremonies. We'll talk to Dave Manerick next.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown Bar District.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up. Home. Drop off downtown Bar District.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Huh. Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
The Nebraska FFA is growing leaders
and building communities.
Together, we are strengthening agriculture.
The Nebraska FFA Foundation believes in our future leaders and the communities they serve. We believe in the future of agriculture.
Join us in the I Believe in the Future of Ag campaign. Learn more at neffafoundation.org. Brought to you by CPI, Cooperative Producers, adding value, sharing success. And the Nebraska Farm Bureau, the trusted voice for Nebraska farm and ranch families.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
Husker fans, get ready to be part of the excitement of the 2022-23 Nebraska women's basketball season by joining the season ticket waitlist today. The Huskers return all 5 starters from a team that won 24 games and advanced to the 2022 NCAA tournament. Make the first choice on the best seats to watch the Huskers in person at Pinnacle Bank Arena this year. Join the waitlist by July 31st at huskers.com/request list.
Hey Huskers fans, tomorrow join us for another encore presentation of Sports Nightly. In this episode, we'll hear from Huskers women's basketball head coach Amy Williams. We'll also meet women's hoops new assistant coach Jessica Keller. We'll wrap up hour 1 with visits from new men's basketball transfer Emmanuel Bandamel and Huskers linebacker Nick Henrich. In hour 2, we'll talk with the voice of Huskers volleyball John Baylor, Nebraska QB Chuba Purdy, and wide receiver Trey Palmer will close out our show. Tune in to your local affiliate or at huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown bar district.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up. Home. Drop off downtown bar district.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
They say if you listen hard enough, you can hear the corn grow. It's true. When you're out in the field, you understand its challenges and what it needs to thrive. Channel Seedsmen bring insights from the field to our team of Bayer plant breeders. Their knowledge inspires our product development. From your best ground to your most challenging conditions, our products are designed to perform in your fields. Visit channellistens.com to see our latest innovations. Always read and follow IRM where applicable, grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres Solutions. For every field, Greg Sharpe back with you here on a Thursday night of Sports Nightly. Tomorrow's July 1st, which means we're just a couple of weeks away from the start of the Cornhusker State games. And delighted to be joined tonight by the Executive Director of the Nebraska Sports Council, Dave Manerick. The clock is ticking, right, my friend? We're getting close and probably coming up on some deadlines.
Did you just say a couple of weeks?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. No, it always comes up fast, but we're ready to go for the 38th annual Cornhusker State Games. Opening ceremony is July 15th, as you know, but you're right. The final deadline to register for most events is Tuesday, July 5th.
So this holiday weekend. And okay, just remind everybody, what's the easiest and best way to go get themselves signed up for any of the events that you're offering?
Yeah, the thing to do is just go to our website at cornhuskerstategames.com, and then I would advise folks to go to what's called the sport listing, and then just scroll through the events until you find one that you want to do or ones that you want to participate in. Check out the sport information and see the exact dates, times, all the details, and then click that register button and you can sign up and you'll be good to go. And you have through the day on the 5th.
So, yeah, it's on 8 a.m. on the 5th, a little later than that.
Yep, you've got that whole day up to midnight.
Very good. Dave, tell me about, I know you have thousands of athletes who participate. What's kind of the breakout of male to female, and what kind of ages do you range from, the people that participate in these?
Good questions. Typically, the age range, we start with somebody who signs a child up as young as 2 or 3 years old.
Oh.
And our oldest participants are very commonly in their 90s. So we really cover all the gamuts, and it speaks to our mantra of all ages, all abilities. And I think part of the reason that it's that appealing to that many different ages of people is just the variety of sports. We have some that are non-competitive. We have several walk events where, the participant can sign up and be part of a big sports festival, and as long as they achieve the distance that they signed up for, they can earn a participation medal. But then we have also, some of the best participating in lots of our events. The track and field event is one that comes to mind as just a real melting pot of ages, but also some places where you can see people getting qualifying times for USA track sanctioned events. And even like last year, Carol Frost came in and set 2 world records in throwing. And that's kind of neat when that can happen in your sports festival. And this thing is, it's kind of done in the Olympic tradition, but it's something for everyone.
Dave, do you have to cap any events because of you filled up the spaces, and is anything capped right now?
We have one event that's full, and that's powerlifting. And I think there are, I'm going to say probably 24 on the waiting list if there are cancellations. But powerlifting, it's a sport that's just been growing steadily in the Cornhusker State Games, and the one that we put on, that our people, our volunteers put on, and they're awesome people, just has a great reputation for being smoothly run and is very popular. It always has a good vibe, but we only have room for 150 people, and we're there with that one. That's the only one that really comes to mind. Obviously, in the team sports, there's always the possibility that you could fill up because of facilities and the time allotment, but right now, there's nothing else that's close to that point where we'd have to turn people away.
Very good. Dave Manerick, the Executive Director of the Nebraska Sports Council, with us. The Cornhusker State Games just 2 weeks away from the opening ceremonies. Let's talk about those. You had a big announcement about some people that are going to be there to help you kick the games off, right?
Yeah, very exciting for us. We're proud and honored to have Husker softball seniors Olivia Farrell, Courtney Wallace, and Carly Sievers with us to deliver the Oath of Athletes. And they're also going to come ahead of time and be hanging out at Sport Fest for a meet and greet. But what a magical ride these players and their teammates and coaches took us on this spring with the Husker softball program completing a real dramatic turnaround and winning its first ever Big Ten softball tournament championship. So we're excited to have them, and there's so many other cool things that happen both at Sport Fest, where you have the athlete meal and a fun vendor fair and a National Guard chopper on display, and then we stage for the parade of athletes at about 7:30. The athletes march in, and that's the first element in the opening ceremony show itself. That starts at 8 o'clock. And then you see the skydivers. We have the national anthem, and the girls will deliver the oath, and then we'll have freestyle motocross. And that's a type of entertainment that the first time we had it, it provided an instant boost in energy, but also in turnout. People love to come see that, and so we're excited to have the motorcycles back. Of course, the Mystery Torchlighter will cap the well, not quite cap the evening, but they'll light the cauldron, and the fireworks will be the finale.
Well, that's fantastic. Those 3 Husker softball players are all Nebraska natives, so that makes it even more special that you've got them involved in this as well. All right, one last time, Dave. Deadline Tuesday the 5th. Best place you can send them to get signed up.
Yep, just go to cornhuskerstategames.com.
Very good. Dave, we appreciate it. Have a happy, fun, safe 4th of July.
You too. Thanks very much.
There he is, Dave Manerick, the Executive Director of the Nebraska Sports Council, joining us on our Sports Nightly Hotline, brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family. Shop Woodhouse first, 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance, buy online at woodhouse.com. We're back to wrap up tonight's show. Jessica will rejoin me next.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Hey Huskers fans, tomorrow join us for another encore presentation of Sports Nightly. In this episode, we'll hear from Huskers women's basketball head coach Amy Williams. We'll also meet women's hoops new assistant coach Jessica Keller. We'll wrap up hour 1 with visits from new men's basketball transfer Emmanuel Bandamel and Huskers linebacker Nick Henrich. In hour 2, we'll talk with the voice of Huskers volleyball John Baylor, Nebraska QB Chuba Purdy, and wide receiver Trey Palmer will close out our show. Tune in to your local affiliate or at huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Shelter Agent Jeb Brandt in Hastings, DJ Robertson in Aurora, or Callie Schilke in Imperial.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card. Free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Final few minutes of our show here tonight. Here in the last 15 minutes, the Big Ten put out the official statement of the additions of UCLA and USC beginning August 2nd, 2024. They will begin competition in all conference sports for that academic year. So just 2 years away for the addition of those two into the conference. Also, Nebraska Athletics, a joint release from Ronnie Green and Trev Alberts. And Jessica, in this, they stressed that, Nebraska's got a big alumni base in California, great opportunity for our alums out there to come watch our teams compete. Also, as one of our callers mentioned earlier, good recruiting grounds for a lot of different sports as well.
Yeah, Trev Alberts just putting out a statement and a tweet, and he said, bold, period, ambitious, period, strategic, period, big, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
He's not wrong.
Saying in his statement, and he sent an email to the Husker athletic staff, just how well this positions the Big Ten for the future and where college football and college athletics is heading.
Well, it's been an arms race, and I think we've been kind of opining that we're kind of headed to two super conferences, and for Nebraska, think back 12 years ago for the decision by Nebraska to leave the Big 12, and even as recently as a couple years ago, a lot of people still were questioning, was that the right move for Nebraska to do that? I would not want to still be a member of the Big 12 Conference right now. I don't think that would be a very fun place to be living, and the Huskers don't have to worry about that because they're under the umbrella and under the arm of the Big 10 Conference. So, wow, what a day. Crazy. Did not think we would have to be dealing with this today. We are, and again, as you mentioned, I'm intrigued by where the dominoes are going to fall from here, because this isn't it. There's other moves to be made.
Yeah, and just, is it going to be a competition between the Big Ten and the SEC now? And, is there going to be somebody come together and say, hey, let's leave it at this number? That's another thing. Like, how does this thing continue to evolve moving forward? If it's two super conferences, how do we get to that point? Is there someone that is trying to be in charge and help navigate this thing to where we're going? But it's far from over. And, it's going to be just so fascinating to see how it continues to unfold and what's the Pac-12 going to do. And, the Big 12, what are they going to do? Are they going to stay as is, how they're going to be? What's the ACC going to do? Are they going to try to get out of their TV contracts, some of those teams? And, I got to think that the SEC wants to try to, the Big Ten is the talk of all of college sports world today, and this big, massive TV contract that literally every single television entity, streaming entity wants to be a part of. The SEC probably has got to be thinking, all right, we got to make a move now.
And if they get Notre Dame, whoa. Man, that would be like the trifecta, right? What's our last show before the holiday? Be safe. You guys have good holidays. Andrew, Tim, Jessica, enjoy yourself. I'm out of here for a week. You're in good hands, though. Jessica will take care of you next week. Who knows? You might have a whole new conference come up.
Right? There's a lot going to happen in these next 4 days, so we'll see how these things unfold. But happy 4th of July to everybody, and enjoy the fireworks. Now that I know what to expect, I am pumped and ready to take it all in this weekend.
Absolutely. A couple more days left to get yourself a customized Husker football mini pack, $180. Easy to do. Huskers.com/tickets. Thanks, everybody, for being a part of this one tonight. What a wild day, huh? Have a great night. Have a great 4th of July. And be safe.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like home like Sapp Brothers. For 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and been a reliable partner to local farms and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment, and welcoming guests into their travel centers. Visit www.sappbros.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
Visit the truck experts at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Blair for all your new Ram truck needs. From the most awarded light-duty truck in America, the 2022 Ram 1500, to the hardworking and capable 2022 Ram 2500, we have the truck to get the job done. Stop out for a test drive in Blair during the Make the Switch event, or shop, finance, and buy online with eShop at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. J-Tech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. J-Tech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find J-Tech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to the 7th inning stretch, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. Call or visit soshvac.com today.
SOS to the